I remember being in second grade in 1993 visiting my cousin Craig in Texas when he saw a billboard that said, "Ooh, I want to see that movie." The movie was Jurassic Park. I remember the tension I felt watching it in theaters with my parents and sister. I also remember the disappointment I felt when they released the reboot of the series in 2015, just 10 years ago, with 2 more sequels. In total, this franchise has released 6 movies before releasing this latest iteration, which is to be yet another reboot of the series. It's Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm Ronald Young Jr., and I'm leaving the theater. All right, this is Ronald, and I am leaving the theater after seeing Jurassic World Rebirth. Jurassic World Rebirth, written by David Koepp and directed by Gareth Edwards, starring Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, Manuel Garcia-Rulfo, and Ed Skrein. And for a complete cast listing, you can go to the link in our show notes. I am not here alone. I'm here with a conquering hero, the return of one of our greatest reviewers to ever grace the stage of this show. It's
me, Nichole. I'm back. You can't see, but I'm doing conquering hero moves.
We are watching Jurassic World,
Okay.
which is the 7th entry in the Jurassic film series. With Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park: The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, the next one, and Jurassic World Dominion. This one is Jurassic World Rebirth.
Wow, that was impressive.
I didn't get any of those names right. 2 of those I just made up.
Yeah,
I said Jurassic World, the next one. I didn't even hand you the mic when you said that. Say, wow, that's impressive again.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I made that up, so I do the best. Anyway, so this one is, they rebooted the movie. They made so much money off these movies, they decided, Universal, to run it back with a brand new cast with Scarlett Johansson. And this one, I mean, y'all know the plot. They got to go to the island to do something they have no business doing. I'm not exaggerating when I say this.
Yeah.
You go to the island to do something you have no business doing. You run into dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. All hell breaks loose. Mm-hmm. You got to run off the island. That's the plot of the movie. Nick, what did you think of this movie?
This was a silly, unnecessary movie. They did a really bad job. The last 20 minutes, I was like, oh, that's nice. And then the first, 2 hours and 10 minutes, I was like, what a silly movie you all made.
This is a bad movie. Yeah. You are absolutely right. This is a bad movie. It's like, I wish it were silly. Silly implies that there was some fun to be had here. And I did not have fun. There were it seems like they filmed 2 separate movies and then overlapped them in reshoots or something. There's a plot point of mutant dinosaurs, which goes exactly how you would expect it, I think. And there's a raptor cameo in this movie and no raptor scene. In 7 movies, I've never seen a Jurassic movie with no raptors.
Right.
And I said, that was a mistake.
They kind of, for this movie, I feel like they said, what if we hate dinosaurs, you hate them, you also hate the kids that are supposed to have the wonder, and nobody has any connection to this plot, and you just wished you weren't here. What if we made a movie like that? It feels like when somebody makes something beautiful and they're sick of people loving it, so they're like, let me just trash it. Let me take away everything you like about it, and then now look at that. That's what it felt like.
very much like the plot of The Producers, if I'm not mistaken. I
yes.
think the other thing that gets me is the acting. We talked about Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali. This was one of the rare movies where me and you talked through the whole thing, like basically as support. Like me and Nichole Hill have done that through a couple of movies, but this was the first time you and I have done. Normally me and you was like one word and then we're watching the movie, even if it's bad. Yeah. But this one was so bad, we were like turning to each other to like roll our eyes and be like, this, which, and part of that was the Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali they made them into bad actors in this movie.
So they're doing like a pacing thing that's really odd. The way that they're talking to one another, it almost feels like she shot it alone in a room and he shot it alone in a room, and then they put it together. It's very strange. And they have a scene where they do an exposition dump. They know they're doing a bad job, but they want to give these characters some interiority that they don't need. And so, well, it's not the right kind of interiority. And so then at the end of the exposition dump, they're like, that was a stupid exposition dump, wasn't it? It's like, then why is it in the movie? There's so many scenes like that where you're like, why is this in the movie? Why not just simplify everything? I feel like they just kind of, in some ways, complicated things. It's hard to put my finger on it. It's kind of lifeless. It's kind of joyless. It's weird. It's a weird, bad movie.
It has no riz. I wrote that down. I was
right.
like, this movie has absolutely zero riz. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
She's not being clever. The way it's written, it's just not fun. There's ways in which they're trying to like have a little fun in the movie that's not translating. There's something with Altoids that happens early and a pause that just did not land with me at all. There's a family that I hate. I hate them from the very beginning. They introduce a boyfriend character who is a complete reprehensible human. Then they try to redeem him by making him the comic relief, which I was just like, this must have been rewrites, because you can't establish that scene and then later on have him be cracking jokes and we're supposed to like him. I'm like, no, I want that dude dead quickly, him and his girlfriend. Like, what are we talking about here?
That family, the kids through which we see this adventure through, the worst family I've ever seen on screen. I hated every minute that we spent with them. The dad screaming the youngest child's name constantly as she faces peril. Why did you let her go? Like, the worst family. And the boyfriend, we're really supposed to connect with him, but the way we're introduced to him, he's so awful that you don't want to connect with him again. It's just like, I want him out of the movie. Can he die? And then the dad and the daughters can bond or something, but no, he gets a redemption arc.
The writing was also bad in that portion, because there's a scene where he says something reprehensible and the girlfriend says, you don't see him like I see him. And I'm like, that's bad writing, because how could you lack the awareness to see that he's a bad person based on the way he just interacted with your father, who asked him to do something reasonable, not unreasonable, and you did nothing. And then later on, for him to have a sense of self-awareness, I was just thinking, Gareth, David, you've written this before, like, and no one like checked his work on this. Like, it was absolutely annoying. Then there's later on there's always the big dinosaur that shows up later. Worst big dinosaur I've seen in any of these films. Strange.
A very strange big dinosaur. I felt like, you know how, so in podcasting, companies will sometimes want to get a bunch of podcasts so they can run ads on them. This felt like, let's just get everybody in the theater so we can do a bunch of product placements and get this money. Like, it just felt like, let's get money.
Yeah. This is one of those, I've said this on this podcast before, this was very much of like, yeah, y'all like your slop?
Yeah.
Enjoy your slop. Here's your slop. Like, that's this film. If you're listening to this before you go see this, don't see this in the theater.
No.
Just wait for it to come out on Peacock and watch it then. If you're going to enjoy your slop on the couch, under a blanket. Maybe the movie's on. Maybe it turns into like a good night with you and your partner.
Oh, look at the...
I'm just saying, I'm setting y'all up. Yes. Turn this on. You're going to be like, wow, this movie's kind of crazy. Then like you gently put your hand on their leg or his leg. And then you like lean over and it gets worse and y'all start laughing a little bit. And maybe you brush the hair away from her ear.
Oh my God.
Isn't that already...
And then what happens?
And then, you like slowly like, all right, never mind. The point is, don't go to the theater to see this. I would say, and normally I don't I don't say it this emphatically. If you are listening to this before you go see this, do not go to the theater. You don't need to do that. Like, just, your TVs are big enough at the house. The sound is good enough at the house. I wouldn't watch that. All right, with all of that being said, I didn't even rate this movie. I'm telling y'all not to see it. I think y'all know where this is going. What would you rate this movie out of 5 stars?
I think the most I can give it is like 1.5. Like, I had, at the end, I was like, oh, look at it. We're doing some things. That's it.
That's fine. 1.5. Honestly, I don't care enough to like be like it's a 1-star movie. Like, I feel like I'd have to care more to hate it that much.
Yeah.
So 1.5 sounds fine. Like, I don't want to elevate it to a 2 because it's not a 2-star movie.
Not even that.
And I know I don't want to see it again. If it was on, I'd be like, oh, which one? Oh, nah, never mind. I'm good. I'd be like, if I went to somebody's house to hang out with them and they had this on, I'd be like, oh, obviously you want to have sex because...
You've heard my podcast.
Yeah, you've heard my podcast,
You know.
and you know where this is going because I'm totally like this isn't going to end where you think it ends. So the other thing that gets me is like with a film like this, me and you think a lot about box office now because we both listen to The Town. And with a film like this, I'm wondering, is it a terrible movie that makes $1 billion, or is it a terrible movie that like doesn't make any money? It shouldn't make up its budget.
It can't make $1 billion. It can make back its budget and marketing. It can definitely do that because it's the summertime and because you would think, I think that they've done a great job with the ads, with the promo and the marketing. I think it looks like a middle of the road movie and you're like, oh, whatever, I'll go see it. But it's not a middle of the road movie. It's worse than that. It's in the ditch on the side movie. And you shouldn't go see it, but you won't know until you go. But actually word of mouth. Word of mouth will kill it, but internationally they'll be fine.
I think the other part that gets me is like my expectations were low going into this, so I expected them to exceed my expectations. And I remember about like maybe 15 minutes in, I was like, "This is," because it was funny. People were saying, "What do you think this movie?" I was like, "There's no." I said it to you. I was like, "There's no way in this world this movie can be good. There's no way in the world." And not only was I right, I was more right than I expected. I was like, I expected it at least to be a pitched line drive down the middle, like they're on the island, they get a little scared, they leave type thing. But this was like, and there was tense portions. Yeah. There's elements of a good movie here. They just don't execute at all.
Everything involving the people doesn't work. The
way you said everything involving, sorry, it was very emphatic. Sorry.
Because every time a dinosaur was on screen, I was like, I'm feeling things, I'm engaged. And then the minute it was about people, Jonathan Bailey shines. He does childlike wonder fine. Everybody else, it's weird. The way they're talking is weird. Their characters are weird. And because the humans are so much of a movie, one would say maybe all of it, it makes the movie bad. The people are so bad, and the kids are so bad. Like, I wanted bad things to happen to the children. You're not supposed to feel that.
Yeah, for real. I was like, man, all right, go ahead and get rid of these kids. We gotta get these kids out of here. And you're right, Jonathan Bailey was good, except for one line that he uttered that we had an audible reaction to in the theater, and that's when they said, "What do you think? Killing dinosaurs is a crime?" And he responds, "Killing dinosaurs is a sin." And which someone in the theater said, "What?" There were several call and response moments in the theater, and at the end people clapped, which made me upset because again, I feel like at some point I hear applause in theaters, especially in screenings like this, where it feels like they're trying to assert that it's good or like change our minds as we walk out, and I almost want to be like, no, stop, be real.
And they had started it earlier, and it was like a very low little, like a couple people, and then I feel like when the credits really started rolling, everybody just did it out of obligation. It's like, no, stop, separate your hands. Yeah. This does not deserve applause. Yeah. This was bad. Yeah. And everybody knows it.
Yes. Like, there's no way. I'm gonna check on this one, but there's no way. I just don't want to hear anybody go and say, and I'm telling y'all right now, I'm lowering your expectations down.
All the way down.
It shouldn't meet the expectations that I'm giving you. If somebody, I'm telling y'all listeners, if y'all go and see, I'm talking to you. Hey, chat, I'm talking to you. If y'all go out and see this movie, I'm talking to you. Listen to me right now. If y'all go out and see this movie and you're like, it wasn't as bad as Ronald said, then honestly, I'll quit. I'll just quit. Because I'm telling you, it's not good. It's like, as a matter of fact, you're going to watch it on your couch and be like, it's not as bad. And that's because, think about it, you're on your couch. You're on your couch, you're eating your popcorn, you're sitting next to your partner, and things are getting a little hot and steamy. You're wearing like not too many clothes, you know what I mean? And you're sitting there and you're kind of relaxed, and the air conditioning's going, and juices are flowing. The juices are beginning to flow.
Is this a new part of the show?
It's called Leave It at Theater and Chill. Oh, well, with that, Leave It at Theater is a production of Oh, It's Big Rod Studios. I mixed this episode, and per usual, I'm out here working hard, mixing. The last couple of weeks, we did 2 episodes a week. We're back on the 1-a-week schedule. We had double movies coming out over and over again, so we're done. We're through that part of the season, I think, but that means a lot of coordination. You heard the intro to last episode. I had to do it on the road while I was in South Carolina. So I'm working out here, working hard. I'm rubbing sweat from my eyes as we speak. It's like burning my eyes. I'm standing here and I'm working hard for y'all. I'm like, it's not a game. I'm sitting here, I could barely see, and I work hard to make this podcast every week. The vlog is coming. I know y'all are like, Ronald, you said you were doing the vlog. You only got like 3 episodes up there. They're coming. I'm actually trying to reformat it so I can actually do it in a repeatable way so it comes out all the time. So before y'all go on there and be like, man, these dudes ain't even putting out blogs, and I paid them. The money goes towards making the show. The vlog is just like a fun little extra you get for being a part of the Patreon. But I'm working on it. Stick with me. I'm going to the top. Get on the elevator. Patreon.com/Leaving the Theater, or go to the link in our show notes. Woo. Show art from Heather Wilder. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. For more information about Jurassic Park Rebirth or Nichole Hill, go to the link in our show notes. For more information about Jurassic World Rebirth or Nichole Hill, check out our show notes. You can follow me on Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, Threads, or Letterboxd at Oh It's Big Ron. That's at OHITSBIGRON. You can find out more about this show and other Oh It's Big Ron Studio shows by following us on Instagram at Oh It's Big Ron Studios. Leaving the Theater. We'll be back soon. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, even though you brought me to this bad movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted to bring you to Superman, but it just didn't work. We're back recording again. We have one more message for Nemesis J.C. Howard.
J.C. Howard, I know that you're going to get to go to Superman and I'm not. And I just want you to know that whatever review you do, mine would have been better. Respectfully.